right, we are back again live on YouTube. This is your boy Savar, man. Now, I'm joined by the adjudicator Jamie, and once again, ShamThaGod. And today, as we just did that almost hour-long video about nostalgia games over the last 25 years, the top 10 over the last 25 years, we're going to talk about the AFC, NFC championship rounds. Two teams tomorrow is going to emerge and go to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to be honest with you. You see my shirt, the Dirty Birds, and the cap. Raheem Morris is back running the Falcons camp. So we're going to see how that draws and bear fruit for next season. But it's all about the Ravens tomorrow going against the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit Lions going against the San Francisco 49ers. And it's going to be a very, very anticlimactic decision in the AFC, especially because you have the Chiefs that's going to like their 6th straight AFC championship game. Pat done won 4 of them because he done made 3 of them, no 4, because he done made 2 Super Bowl appearances. He 3. He done won 2. Okay, he lost 1. So the Ravens hasn't been to the AFC championship game since that 2012 season with Joe Flacco, where they went on and beat San Francisco. The Harbaugh brothers went against each other. Jim and John went against each other. And, of course, John won with the Ravens. I think, John, I get mixed up, John, Jim. Yeah, John won with the Ravens, with Flacco won their ring back in 2012, which should have been the Atlanta Falcons going against the Ravens, San Francisco 49ers. I'm glad you got your ass kicked because you screwed over fucking Mike Smith and Matt Ryan and Tony Gonzalez and the Falcons. But that's another story for another day. That's back when they first started, implicating you can't challenge after 2 minutes in the second quarter type shit. We all seen that hole in Tony Gonzalez in the end zone, motherfuckers. Go back and look it up. We ain't forgot. We ain't forgot, and we shall not forget, motherfucker. We shall not forget. Thou shall not forget. Well, I should say, don't judge me now. I got 2 Guinnesses in me. All right, 2 of these motherfuckers in me. They strong as fuck. Strong as fuck. But I got a Ravens fan in here, and at the beginning of the season, I remember me and Sham and Goatcast. I'm gonna do an honorable mention. He's not here right now. He's busy as hell, and y'all, I'm gonna link his channel below. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Goatcast's channel. He's versed in a lot of NBA stuff, but he does love sports in general. But I remember we had talked a while back in the Discord about our predictions in the games, and I remember saying that I didn't think the Ravens was going to make it this far, and it looked like I'm eating my words. I assume Lamar Jackson will be hurt. He has been healthy all season. He's playing damn good football, and I'm going to be real with you. As much as I can't stand the Ravens, and I have my reasons why, a lot of got to do with, my stepdad, he's dead and gone. He was a Ravens fan, and every time I would bet on Lamar Jackson, he would cost me a lot of money. That's one reason why. Second reason why, last season, Tyler Huntley kept us out of the fucking playoffs last season. So I have a lot of pent up aggression for the Ravens, but however, they're playing damn good football. My expectations tomorrow is this. I know Kansas City's going in there. They have been to the AFC Championship, like I say, 6 straight. They have won, 3 of the last 6, because they have made 3 Super Bowl appearances, and Pat Mahomes have won 2 of those. Okay. He has the experience. Him and Kelsey is like Brady and Gronk. Their run game is okay. It's not top notch. Pacheco isn't like the slam the door in your face like a Chris McCaffrey is, right? Or a Jahmyr Gibbs, right? And Jennings is the guy. Now I forgot to put his name in my last video that I did talking about the predictions after the division round last year. Jennings for the 49ers. They have a receiving core, but we know the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. We know Lamar's going to run that ball. He also has a passing corp now. I think Mark Andrews is going to be back tomorrow, and he'll be back. He'll be back, and so you know that's Lamar's favorite target. So I expect a Lamar, Mark Andrews, a Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes showdown tomorrow. But I think the Ravens are going to beat them when it comes to the run. And I think they're going to beat them based on the fact they have Gus Edwards. They just signed Dalvin Cook. The other running back, he's somewhat decent. I can't think of his name right now. He's somewhat decent. Y'all number 2 option there. But we all know Lamar's going to run tomorrow, and he can outrun Pat Mahomes any day of the week. Okay, Pat Mahomes doesn't run. He relies on Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco to do a lot of that, and I think McKinnon might be back. McKinnon was a guy that would catch a lot of balls in the slant, and take off. But I expect the Ravens to win this game, and God, I hope they win, because I don't want to hear how about them Chiefs and Chiefs Nation. Now, I think it's time for Lamar to finally earn his first ring. I don't think he's going to earn it, though, and I'm going to explain why with the NFC side in a second. But it's long overdue. Out of the 2 quarterbacks, I know Pat Mahomes has an arm, but I think Lamar has the better accuracy when it comes to throwing down range, especially to that rookie wide receiver that y'all acquired in the draft, the first round pick in the draft. I can't think of his name right now.
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, and he done fell in love with Isaiah Likely, but Isaiah might take a backseat tomorrow to Mark Edwards. However, they might do equal duty, kind of like how the Bills was doing with Kincaid and Knox. The Ravens might run that scheme. You might have Isaiah Likely out there with Mark Andrews on a couple of plays, 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, Duvenberry, and what's the guy named Zay Flowers, or it could be something like that. And like I say, pick your poison, who you gonna hold, right? I expect the Ravens to win by 5 tomorrow. I expect that. The only way the Ravens gonna lose this game tomorrow if Kansas City get to Lamar. The Texans got to him, but the Texans couldn't stay on him. When the Texans got to Lamar last week before the half and they sacked him like 3 times in the fucking row, they should have kept that same energy coming out. I don't know what they talked about in the locker room, but when the Ravens came back out, they was pissed. They were mad. And they kept getting to little C.J. Stroud ass, just like Houston should have been getting to Lamar. And they kept keeping that pressure on him. But if Kansas City do that tomorrow to Lamar, then it might be a Kansas City game. So, but I expect the Ravens to win tomorrow. I expect old John to go back to his 2nd Super Bowl. And that's where the fairy tale will end. But before we get to why, when I make my NFC prediction video, I'm going to let Sham and Jamie have the floor and tell me what they think is going to happen tomorrow. I know Sham is going to go with the Ravens because he's a Raven fan by default. But like I said, I'm just going straight facts. I'll be a fool to bet against the Ravens, knowing that Kansas City don't have all the elements. The Ravens has a run game. They have a passing game. They have a defense right now that's playing damn good. And if the Ravens shut down Travis Kelce, they pretty much fucked. So it's all a Baltimore's Ravens fucking game. It should be. The only way Baltimore lose this game tomorrow is Baltimore play stupid football, and that's a possibility because it's John Harbaugh. But hey, whatever, So I'm gonna let y'all have the flow, Sham. You go ahead.
I mean, like you said before, it all depends on how John approached Kansas. It depends on how he approached Kansas City. Because don't get me wrong, now Kansas is a good team.
Yes,
I'm not gonna take nothing away from Kansas City at all.
Them chicken shitty cheese.
I'll be honest with you, can't take nothing away from them guys because when they started their season off, like the season, they was at a slow start. So
that's Taylor Swift.
No one didn't respect the Chiefs to really just,
They shouldn't have won last week. They shouldn't have won last week.
Yeah, and look,
Buffalo had them beat.
Too. They shouldn't even won last week because even I said Buffalo. I was like, but somehow they wound up coming through. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, because it was like, those 2 teams in particular, there was neck and neck anyway.
Yeah.
So that game could have went either way.
I blame Sean McDermott. When you get down there in the end zone and you opt to try to go for a touchdown and don't leave with points, you're giving Kansas City leeway. I done seen Pat Mahomes. I remember Pat Mahomes scored the Texans here in the division round about 5 years ago. This is when Deshaun Watson was still playing. The Texans got to the division round. They was up like 30-something to 0. And I watched Kansas City come back in the 3rd and 4th quarter and throw 42 unanswered points. That motherfucker threw 7 straight touchdowns.
Right.
Well, 6 straight. Because 6 times 2 is 40. 6 times 7 is 42. He threw 6 straight touchdowns and came back and scored the Texans. So that's when I realized how dangerous Pat Mahomes was. Because, I mean, he was down. They were like 30-0. Texans was cruising.
Yeah.
And so, when you get in the end zone against Kansas City and you don't leave with no points, you're asking for it. I would have took 3. I know touchdowns would have been the ideal situation, but you had a big enough lead to where if I just kick 3 right now, I can still be cruising in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then Tyler Bass go out there and miss a 37-yard field goal. Don't ask me how, but.
But yeah, you know, I'm not gonna sleep on Kansas City at all. This is a game that Lamar gotta win.
Yes.
You know, this is to me, it's more pressure on Lamar than it is against Patrick because you know, with all the things that Lamar has said in terms of, you know, he gonna take us, he gonna get the Ravens to Super Bowl, you know. So, you know, this could be our one shot to go ahead and get the Super Bowl because when this is one and done, we got so many free agents.
Yes.
You know, so you know, you don't know who we're gonna resign or who we're gonna let go because, you know, after the off season, you know, don't be shocked on, you know, who we let go. So, you know, that just
I think Odell's gonna be leaving. I know Gus Edwards is gonna probably be hanging it up. Y'all have a lot of people on the defense side that's gonna be probably leaving for sure. But I know Zay Flowers there to stay. Isaiah Likely's there. I know Mark ain't going nowhere unless fucking Lamar goes somewhere. So y'all just signed Dalvin Cook just for a playoff run, and then depending on how he performs, he might be around next season. He might not. So yeah, y'all have a lot of people. I think at least 10, especially on defense, that might be leaving.
It's the defense though.
Yeah.
Like, and so, you know, but yeah, that game is going to be that one to watch because there's so much history between Lamar and Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, it is.
Everybody talking about, oh, you know, Patrick don't have a rival.
Oh yeah, he do. He do. Josh Allen. Josh Allen. See, okay. I'm gonna tell you guys this here. Not you, Shannon. You know, and not you, James. I'm talking about the people that's gonna watch this video. People that don't really pay attention to football. The AFC. The torch was passed from Brady to Mahomes. Okay? It used to be Peyton Manning and Brady. Colts, Patriots. Then Broncos, Patriots. All right? Now it's fucking Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. And I can't forget about Justin Herbert. And I can't forget about Joe Burrow as well.
Yeah.
But when you know it's Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, you watch. Why? Because of the wild card round a couple years ago. The division round in overtime when they lost in overtime with that kick, and then the Chiefs got the ball, went down there and got a touchdown. Of course, the Bills didn't get the chance to do anything. And then they got back. That was the AFC Championship game. Then they got back last year. I think it was the wild card, and they went to overtime again, and they ended up losing the overtime again to the Chiefs. And then this year, they finally had the division round in Buffalo, and they gave it to the Chiefs again. But Buffalo done beat Kansas City twice in regular season. Yeah. Lamar done played Pat 4 times. I think Pat beat him 3. Lamar beat him once. So there's some history with the Ravens in Kansas City. Now, that Ravens that he played the first 3 times didn't have the receiving court they have now. That's just fair. That's very fair. So tomorrow it should be a different ball game. Shouldn't be no one-sided Lamar, Pat Mahomes gonna run the ball and flick to Travis Kelce and do this. No, it should be a very competitive game. It should be.
This is gonna be the one game everybody's gonna be paying attention to. Like, you know, now don't get me wrong with the NFC game. You know that one was. We'll say that one for a second, but the AFC game, this one here has more of a story.
Yes, it does.
Than to the NFC. So it's like, and everybody's glued to more of that game than the NFC game.
Yeah, the AFC game tomorrow night is going to be the game that a lot of people are going to watch simply because you got Taylor Swift and the Chiefs going against going against Lamar Jackson and Lamar Jackson. Because, I'm going to say it again, the only way the Ravens going to lose the game tomorrow is if Lamar Jackson go out there tomorrow and fuck up. That is it. A lot of got to do with what John Harbaugh says on the sideline. But if Lamar Jackson go out there and play like he has been playing, cool, calm. I mean, he still get mad, throw fists on the sideline. But if he just keep his composure tomorrow and just shake it off and stay focused to the task, Ravens are going to scorch Kansas City. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you.
Like, they already broke down the whole, the whole stats between the two. It's like
they're identical stats. They're very identical. They're very. Pat Mahomes. If you give Pat Mahomes 3 plays, he'd be in the end zone 3 plays. If you give Lamar Jackson 3 plays, he'd be in the end zone 3 fucking plays. So they're very identical. That's why I say this is a Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. And listen, I know y'all didn't really watch the NFC. This is a Drew Brees, Matt Ryan situation where deep arms. Oh yeah. I can do one. I can do one even fucking better. People say, "I know the fuck you didn't. You didn't go here." I can go with a Tony Romo, and who was the Eagles quarterback back in the day when Romo was playing? Wasn't it Vic? Vic was one McNabb, but I think McNabb retired. I think Vic came in when Romo was still quarterback. But the point is, you have your rivalries. You have them. And so, I expect tomorrow maybe a 300-yard day for Lamar from the pocket. I expect Kansas City to throw for over 200 yards and maybe have about 100 on the ground tomorrow if they play their cards right. Because they try to go air for air with the Ravens, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. They're going to lose, and they're going to lose horribly.
And see, and then here's the thing, though. The only weakness in Baltimore is mainly going to be the secondary. Just a little bit.
I'm about to say that.
Secondary. But the rest of it, they in trouble. I'm just going to put it that way. They are in serious trouble because they're going to rush them. They're going to come with that pressure. One thing about Baltimore and what I've seen throughout the season, they love putting that pressure on them.
Yes.
So whenever they put that, just like the Texas game, see what they did to him. They kept that pressure on him. So with Mahomes, he's not elusive like Lamar.
No.
So, he's not a runner. So
let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you why the goddamn fucking Kansas City Chiefs went to the last 2 Super Bowls. I'm gonna tell you exactly why. I'm gonna tell you why they won last year's Super Bowl. See, the Bengals went the year before that, and then last year the Bengals played them in the AFC Championship round. The Bengals were on their way back to the Super Bowl last year, right?
They were close.
Yeah, they supposed to be playing the fucking Eagles last year. Year for that they played the Rams, right?
Yeah.
So last year, when Pat Mahomes ran out of bounds, that dude hit him as he was going out of bounds. That gave them that flag, and that pretty much killed the game for the Bengals. It was like 4th and 3, and they needed to get a first down. And, if they would have just not hit him, they would have been good. Well, once you do that and you give them 15 yards, you put them in field goal range, they were going to win the game. And honestly, they just kneeled the ball down. They had the game won. And then they got to the Super Bowl, and the Eagles did the same stupid shit. He running out of bounds, and the dude didn't pull up, hit him, angled the flag, put the Chiefs in field goal range. They ran the clock all the way down to 2 seconds and kicked the field goal and won the goddamn Super Bowl. Walked on up the goddamn field with the Super Bowl win. So Pat Mahomes won last year's AFC Championship game in a Super Bowl off of flags. That's why he complained about the refs not giving flags. And I expect this tomorrow. I expect the Ravens to punch him in his mouth. That's what I expect. Because, see, had this been 10 years ago, Pat Mahomes wouldn't have made it in the NFL 10 years ago. Just ask Joe Flacco. Ask them quarterbacks how it felt about 10 years ago to get your ass hit. Now all of a sudden you touch a quarterback. Flag. Pat Mahomes be looking for a flag every time he fucking take a little hit. He hit me.
Well, he gonna have to get rid of. Well, he ain't gonna get hit, but he gonna get that pressure though.
No.
One thing they gonna put pressure on him.
In the first 3 quarters, the Ravens' sole mindset is to cripple Mahomes. Because they know if they can shake him up real bad, they'll win. So they're going to do everything in their power to cripple Mahomes in the first 3 quarters. Now, Jamie, what's your take on this Before I jump over to the NFC and end this video, what's your take on this one?
Mine's is real short. So, my Buffaloes, of course, they got beat.
Blundering Bills.
I just jumped to the Ravens. I was always a really, really big.
He went east to north. You say, fuck the AFCs, I'm going AFC North.
I was always really big on 49ers, Jeff Garcia, Steve Young, Terrell Owens.
Yeah. You went back to the late 90s. Ooh, shit.
So I got them beating the Lions, and then I got the Ravens beating the 49ers for the Super Bowl championship.
Oh, and, hey, you know what? If it comes down to the Ravens, San Francisco, I think Kyle Shanahan is going to happen, and we all know when Kyle Shanahan happens, the 49ers don't fare too well. But the same can be said for John Harbaugh. Harbaugh got there, start doing stupid shit like he's known to fucking do. Kyle Shanahan might win this one. I'm just saying, but if it's the Ravens, by all right, the Ravens should beat the Niners. They've done it in the regular season. By all rights.
Yeah. Some of the things that I've heard online is that the Ravens have to beat Kansas City overwhelmingly. It can't be a close game. They actually have to beat them good.
Yeah, they have to beat them. They're gonna have to beat them. Yeah, what's up? Yeah,
they literally have to. They literally have to outscore them by at least what?
I would say 17. I would say 17. That's 3-score game. If they can keep the lead to 17 the fourth quarter, they'll whoop Kansas City. They'll get them.
Yeah,
they'll get them. Yeah. See, when the Bills had them going to the fourth quarter, Bills had them by what was that, 6? They had them by like 6 points, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they let Kansas City come on back at the last minute, and then they kicked the field goal, and then they closed the gap by 3, and then Kansas City turned around and got in there and got a touchdown and went up by 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Bills were trying to get in the fucking field goal range, and then they got in the field goal range, and Tyler Bass missed the fucking field goal. But if the Bills would have kept that pressure on Kansas City, because they was up for like 10 points for a while. If they could have got another touchdown on their ass, Bills would have won that game, man. They would have won that game. But you are right.
Yeah, see, I was expecting them to. I expected Buffalo to beat them, but it's just those little costly mistakes.
Yep.
When it comes to the Lions and the 49ers, I just looking at the records and the games that they play. Once the 49ers get a lead, they don't really lose that lead. They got some, really high-scoring games.
Well,
so I think the Lions have to really, keep the pressure on them.
Mm-hmm.
And or that if they do get out of a touchdown range, they need to work really hard to get that back. If not, they're going to lose the game.
Well, let me say this about that. And I remember at the beginning of the season, I said this here. I said this. At the time, I said it's going to be 2 teams that never been to a Super Bowl. That's going to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Well, one of the teams in the AFC fell out. All right. The Bills done played in 4 Super Bowls, never won one. The Lions have never made it to a Super Bowl. So far, that prediction is going to hold true. It's been holding true, but I ain't going to say it's going to come true. I did predict the Lions to win the North. I said that at the beginning of the season, and they did win the North. Jared Goff is used to playing against the 49ers. Remember, he was the Rams quarterback for a while. So he knows what the 49ers are going to bring. Here's what I expect is going to happen tomorrow. And I'm going to break it down to you like this here. I expect Dan Campbell tomorrow to hit that field with the Lions in San Fran. They are faithful to the Bay. FTTB. Faithful to the Bay. Right? Those Mufasa Lions of Pride Rock, known as Detroit, okay, is going into the 49 Censors fucking domain tomorrow. We all know if you shut down CMC, Christian McCaffrey, you have a legitimate fighting chance of winning. The Lions has a pretty good run defense. They do. The Lions have a pretty good pass defense. The one thing the Lions have that San Francisco don't have is 2 running backs. See, they got David Montgomery, who's like the power back for the Lions, and they got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's like the Tony Pollard of the Cowboys, just a little bit better. Ross St. Brown, forget about it. Josh Reynolds, forget about it. Sam Laporta, forget about it. You know, the Lions have a really strong receiving core, okay? And you put somebody like Goff back there, right, the quarterback, who has more experience and actually played in the Super Bowl, all right, against Brock Purdy. And you look at how the 9 defense, they do have a good run defense. They do have a good pass defense. But it's not that good. Guess who scorched them 3 weeks ago? Bad. The Ravens. Actually, about 5 weeks ago. Scorched them bad. The Jets whooped their ass. Okay? Let's not forget. Let's just bring this up. The Jets beat the Niners. Okay? So, I expect a team who by all right had the Dallas Cowboys beat. Okay? Fuck that ref. I expect the Lions tomorrow. Hakuna Matata, circle of life. I expect them to make it to their first Super Bowl. I expect the Lions to beat San Francisco by a score of 7 tomorrow. And that's simply because they can actually run the goddamn football. And they can actually throw. Now, I will say this. If Dan Campbell gets too greedy and try to go for touchdowns in the end zone instead of field goals, because let's be real. He got to the end zone 2 times against Dallas and tried to cash in for 2 touchdowns and didn't get them. But they stopped Dallas when Dallas got the ball back both those times, and they didn't get a touchdown either. If the Lions would have took those 2 field goals, they would have whooped Dallas outright 4 weeks ago and been a number 2 seed by default. So I'm going to be real with you. If Dan Campbell get down there tomorrow and doesn't take anything away from the end zone, he's asking the 49ers to whoop his ass. Every chance he gets, he better take some points. Because if he doesn't, yes, they got George Kittle, one of the greatest tight ends in the NFL, the 49ers. They got Deebo Samuel, I think is coming back tomorrow. He's a switchblade. He can run and catch the ball. Chris McCaffrey can run and catch. Brandon Ayuk done made his mark now with the San Francisco 49ers. And you got Wash Jennings, that little third option there. But if they can shut down Chris McCaffrey, now you forcing Brock Purdy to throw the ball. And when you force Brock Purdy to throw the ball, he's not always that accurate. Green Bay had them dead to rights. Green Bay took their foot off the gas last week. But they had the Niners dead to rights. So I expect the Lions to maul them by 7 tomorrow. And I expect the Lions to go against Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl. And that's why I say that this is going to end there. The only way Lamar Jackson will win a Super Bowl, it has to be the Niners going to the Super Bowl. It has to be. It's going to have to be. Because the Niners secondary is very suspect. But if it's Lamar playing the Lions, it's going to be a problem there. And I'm going to tell you why. Go back to reference number 1. The Lions have 2 strong running backs. And Jared Goff know to run the ball too a little bit. So you can say 3. But Jared Goff got more experience when it comes to throwing the ball in tight windows than Lamar has. So I expect the Lions to run the ball on them and win in the Super Bowl by 3 points. No more than 5. It's going to be a very close game. It might be one of the games where it's like 10-7 type shit. It's going to be a very close fucking game. I don't think the Ravens going to go out there and put 45 points on the fucking board against the Lions. I don't think that. I think the one team that actually got 30-something points was the Cowboys. It was the fucking Cowboys. And then in the wild card with the Lions, who did the Lions play in the wild card? With the Rams, they let the Rams close the gap at the last couple of minutes. But other than that, the Lions is known to shut you down to more than about 20 points. So I expect the Lions and the Ravens go to Super Bowl. The Lions win and win their first Super Bowl. But if it is the Niners going, then the Niners are going to lose Super Bowl to the Ravens. But if Kansas City go and the line, if the Lions are Kansas City, the Lions gonna be Kansas City. If it's San Francisco and Kansas City, San Fran gonna be Kansas City, because San Francisco ain't forgot what Kansas City did to them 3 years ago, Super Bowl. They ain't forgot. And I think they're still sore from that. Actually, 4 years ago. It's gonna be a personal game if it's the Niners in Kansas City. So I don't see Kansas City in either scenario winning the Super Bowl. They're not gonna beat the Lions, and they're not gonna beat San Francisco this time. The Ravens can win it if it's the Niners. The Ravens won't win against the Lions. Period. Point blank. The Ravens, like I say, they need the Niners to go. Period. And that's my opinion. That's the way I'm just looking at both teams, all four teams, where the team excel at and where they're weak at. And the Ravens have a very weak secondary. And we all know Amon-Ra St. Brown loved the deep balls. He loved the deep balls. And Sam Laporta, that little tight end, he go deep, pretty deep too. So it's just gonna be one of those games that they go to Super Bowl where, okay, the Lions throw 2 deep passes, scorch the Ravens there, and then all of a sudden now they run the ball on them. They don't know what to do. So if it's the San Francisco 49ers, they secondary's trash. Lamar have a fucking field day with him. He did already. He rode them like they were going out of style here about 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. I mean, what, like 45-13, some shit? Beat the snot out of their ass. So he want the Niners to go back because he know them. All I gotta do is go here. Right? So if it's the Lions, Hakuna Matata. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. Kansas City don't have a chance in hell. I don't give a fuck if it's the Niners or San Francisco. They gonna get their ass beat in the Super Bowl. Because they barely got by the Bills. And they barely made the playoffs. Barely. They shouldn't be in there. Barely. If the Broncos would have took care of business in like week number 13, 14, fucking Kansas City would have missed the playoffs. So they ain't even do shit. The Ravens go home tomorrow, and I'm going to see Taylor Swift finally cry. Because Travis Kelce's going to be doing this here. Y'all can't see my face. I got to carry me. He'll be doing this there, and then you'll see the following week, Travis Kelce done retired from the NFL. And then you'll see 6 months from there, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce done broke up, citing mutual disagreements. And then 6 months from there, Travis Kelce come back to the NFL, but he'll be playing for a different team. Watch what I tell you. What are your thoughts, Sham, on that before I end this video? I'm going to go ahead and do the Geek the one here next. Go ahead and I got the way.
Okay, then, bet. Well, I mean, I don't really have any. We just gonna wait and see how things play out with the AFs between these two.
Yeah.
And then we'll just come back with a follow-up video about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that for sure. After the championship games, I was gonna plan that because then we'll know who's going to the Super Bowl. And depending on how the teams play in the championship game, they both get that week off for the Pro Bowl. They get that week off to rest. So now you're looking at who's coming in at full capacity for the Super Bowl. Who's coming in. And like I said, if it's Lamar and the Niners, he got that. If it's Lamar and the Lions, it might be one of the games where if Lamar sneezes the wrong way, he's fucked. He is fucked. And Detroit is playing for all of it. They some angry ass football players. They're playing for all of it. They ain't never played a Super Bowl game yet in franchise history. So they come there with a whole bunch of anger and take it all mentality if they win tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to both games because I want to see the Lions finish their story strong. And I want Lamar to finally have his opportunity to play the Super Bowl. So you got Lamar going for his first Super Bowl. You got Jared Goff going for his second, but taking the Lions to a very first franchise Super Bowl. So there's a story right there. That's a story right there. Isaiah Likely just got drafted here in the draft this past season, first Super Bowl. Mark Edwards, first Super Bowl. Odell been there. He went there 3 years ago, won Super Bowl. So 2 years ago, right? But a lot of these guys, Gus Edwards, first Super Bowl. Dalvin Cook, first Super Bowl. So Dudenberry, first Super Bowl. So it's a first time for every one of these teams except for John Harbaugh. Mm-hmm. So it's a story there. It's just right there as a story. And that will make sports so great. If you actually pay attention to the sporting world, it will make it so great. There's always a story there. And that's a story. That's a real story. That if Lamar wins, hey, he took the Ravens back to a first Super Bowl and won it in 12 years. if Jared Goff does that, the Lions can finally say, besides the NFL championship in the late 60s, we finally have a Super Bowl ring. And my predictions would have came true from the beginning of the season, where I did sit up and say, I believe there's going to be 2 teams going to the Super Bowl. They ain't never played before the Super Bowl, right? Ravens have played, so 9 down to 1, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. And if the Lions win, my prediction came true. They won a very first Super Bowl. So it's going to be very, very intriguing tomorrow. But look, that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoy. I got to talk for the next 10 minutes in the next video about Geekdom 101. Hope you all enjoy. I am out, guys. Peace.